Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Max, a Mimi Gamer here, and today I am going to be doing my round of 16 review. The episode, because it's just one episode from now on. Yeah, it was a good episode. Some cool fights. Yeah. No. There were some cool moments. Some not as cool moments. And some other stuff. Yeah. Also subscribe. We're so close to 150 subscribers. We're at 143. So please do subscribe. We're so close. With all that said, let's get into this episode review. Yeah. So, first fight of the night was Ribbot vs Black Dragon, and this is, of course, a rematch from Season 5 semi-finals, quarterfinals, where Black Dragon beat Ribbot by spending 2 minutes on fire. However, in this fight, the first thing that happened was a bunch of big exchanges. Black Dragon looked like they were winning it until Ribbot got under them, hit them, inverted them, hit them again, I think it was... and then hit them towards the upper deck, hit them again. Black Dragon looked to be stuck, they got unstuck, Ribbot landed another shot, and then sent them into the corner, and then basically just knocked out Black Dragon. For the second time ever. It's only happened twice, and Black Dragon died in the Ribbot fight, so... yeah, that's interesting. So Ribbot becomes the official second robot to ever KO Black Dragon. And then we had Lockjaw vs Witch Doctor, and basically to start off with, Witch Doctor they both came towards each other. Witch Doctor reversed. Yeah. So Lockjaw tried to get around them, and then Witch Doctor spun around and hit Lockjaw's wheels, and then just basically ripped off Lockjaw. They also hit Spitfire with Lockjaw. It seems like Witch Doctor really does hate that joint. They've done so much. They've launched chunks of Sub-Zero at it before. But yeah, they ended up completely just annihilating Lockjaw. It wasn't even much of a fight after they ripped off that first wheel. Lockjaw, I don't think even landed a single shot on Witch Doctor. So yeah, Witch Doctor's looking really good this year, and I reckon they could take home the Giant Nut this year. Then we have Minotaur vs Malice, and somehow Malice found somehow they found 2 former champions to get advice from on how to beat Minotaur. So yeah, and at the start it looked like they were succeeding in doing that, because they landed a couple of good shots onto Minotaur and just looked like, oh no, they're gonna defeat Minotaur again. Not again. But then Minotaur landed a shot and disabled Malice's weapon, and then just continued going at it. They were basically just completely controlling Malice, and yeah, it went to the judges because Minotaur didn't manage to knock out Malice, and it was a unanimous decision to Minotaur, which, quite cool. And then we have Endgame vs Copperhead, which, Minotaur vibes from this one, from what happened last year. Because basically Copperhead just ran straight into Endgame's weapon, flipped themselves over, but they kept doing it, and and within the first 20 seconds they had disabled Endgame's weapon, and then they were free to just completely rip up Endgame's front and they ripped off every single one of those forks, and that was good because no more forks. And then, yeah, Endgame was basically just, they had nothing to do until eventually Copperhead managed to land them on the head. However, that was within the final 10 seconds, So it went to the judges, who unanimously voted for Copperhead. Then we have another rematch, which was Sawblades vs Monsoon. And to start off with, Sawblades was controlling Monsoon until Monsoon landed a big shot, and I was thinking, oh no, it's happening again. And apparently they were like a centimetre away from hitting, an inch away from hitting Sawblades' weapon, their wheel. But they didn't. Sawblades went back into control. They landed a few shots with their hammer saw, and until they hit one of the horns, which somehow disabled Monsoon, which somehow disabled their weapon. Then they tipped Monsoon onto their head, and Monsoon got KO'd there. So Sawblades moves on to the quarterfinals for this year. Then we have another rematch between Whiplash and Hydra. The two legendary, legendary families of BattleBots fighting each other. To start off with, Hydra missed a flip, and then flipped Whiplash, and then Whiplash did something. Then they hit Hydra's front end with their spinner. Then Hydra flipped them, and somehow their spinner got sent back, and somehow they ripped up their weapon, their lifting arm motors, which got disabled, and then Hydra flipped them onto their heads, and Whiplash got KO'd. So, not the most impressive fight. To be honest, it was probably one of the worst ones of this episode, because nothing really happened before it was over. It happened. Then we have one of the cooler fights of this week. We had Mad Catter versus Huge. So, to start off with, Mad Catter had their harpoon thing with a flamethrower on the end. I don't know what that was for. I think it was a mini-bot on the end of the lifter, but yeah, it got ripped off in the first hit. And then Mad Catter started attacking. They ripped a chunk out of Huge's wheel. However, Huge was continually damaging them, and at the end, Mad Catter looked really bad. However, they had been in control and being more aggressive, though it was not enough to prevent it from unanimously going to Huge in the eventual decision. Now, we had Hypershock vs Riptide, and this is really where I started to hate Riptide, because, Hypershock made one driving error, and Riptide acted as if that made them the best team ever afterwards. However, they did flip Hypershock over, and then hit their weapon into this, and Hypershock went into the ceiling. So that was interesting. And then Hypershock survived with, I think, one less wheel. But they got rammed into the upper deck, and not the upper deck, the side of the arena, and then somehow with 3 wheels remaining, they pushed Riptide around a little bit, did nothing, but then got KO'd, and yeah, Riptide acted as if nothing had ever happened as a driving error. But I don't like Riptide anymore, really. I don't think anyone does. So yeah, it was a good episode. The quarterfinals, the grand final next week, because they do the quarters, semi, and grand final in the last episode. So yeah, please remember to subscribe. Turn on notifications, do all that kind of stuff. I will hopefully have a stop motion out later today, so subscribe if you want to see that. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. That's gonna be the end of the video, so I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Do you like cheese sticks?